Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks in Gainey Titan. We're here on Theipval Ridge, and I'm on the E25, the Tier 7 German premium tank destroyer, with the very rapid premium matchmaking and very rapid firing gun. We have Tier 7 matchmaking. There's one Tier 7 on our team and one Tier 7 on the enemy team, which is as favourable as you can possibly get for this tank. However, we are on Theipval Ridge, which is not the easiest of maps for fixing on tank destroyers. Generally where the action occurs is kind of restricted areas, and it's very hard to, particularly with tank destroyers rely on stealth, it's very hard to get a line of sight in a lot of these areas where you can remain hidden. Now we immediately run into a bit of lag, so that causes us to go off the road and crash into the side of the bridge, and as we get back up and correct ourselves, we're getting into more lag, so we can barely make the turn. And we're still, okay, we've got a full green bar now, and drops a bit, oh, yes, we nearly drove off the bridge. Now I thought I could find cover here in the middle, but it turns out there isn't actually. There's a lot less cover than I thought. I thought there might be more bushes around here, but there doesn't seem to be much. And well, normally the enemy team doesn't go through the middle. I thought it'd be far back enough, but as it turns out, on the current location where I probably am far back enough, I can't get the gun down to attack these tanks. And when I push forward to a position where I can see them, I am immediately spotted and come under fire from pretty much every direction. Both from the tanks I was shooting at and from those tanks on the ridgeline there around D8, F8, that area, where there are some tanks as well. So I said, right, this is no use. I'm going to get out of here. Now we are making a fairly determined push around the northern edge of the map, so I thought maybe I'll go and support the northern edge push, and that I might have a better chance of firing from cover on that direction than I would with the southern side, because that's a kind of a closer range dogfight really. So I initially just suss out the situation from back here, see if I can get a line of sight on anyone, but no, that's all taking place a little too far forward, and I'm not getting a line of sight on anybody, so I'm going to go forward to this ridge here. You can usually fire from the western end of this ridge safely enough without being spotted by anyone that's nearby, or certainly anyone that you, anybody that'd be near enough to spot you, you would probably spot them first. And certainly, and I've done it with bigger guns than the 75mm on this thing. So we have a VK 3001 there. He looked like he was going to pop up, but he then went and hid behind some low ground along the river's bank, and the Hellcat's firmly ensconced on the other side of the house, and he's probably got enough opposition in front of him that he's not really going to venture out in front of it. I might catch him if he decides to run away. The VK 3001P has come out decisively out of cover, so now I'm able to get some shots into him. He is slightly angled, but if I can hit the sides of him or the side of the turret, I should be able to do a reasonable amount of damage. So that is him out of the picture. There's another heavy tank down behind the Hellcat, but I'm not in the position for it to pop up on my screen. Probably not close enough yet. And there it is, it's an ARL-44. Now the sides of the turrets of the ARL, in fact even the front of the turret of the ARL-44 is pretty soft and quite easy to punch around through. And the Hellcat is just vacating the perimeter of the area as rapidly as he can, but I don't have a decent line of sight on him, so we're going to go for the Theipval M42. We got a couple of rounds in, but then he turns, and then I just completely underestimate his trajectories, or miss at every opportunity, just firing that a little bit to the wide or too high, depending on the direction he's going, and therefore I'm now, well, will I push forward? I could probably get away with just going out to the northern edge of the trench line. I'm pretty sure there's guys on the high ground there directly in front of me. The tank destroyer, probably the Hellcat, and some other heavy tank have been spotted on the low ground down there. Now I've zoomed into the heavy tank, so KV-1. Really would have trouble punching a hole through the side of a KV-1 at this range with either premium or regular ammunition, but then bunch of tanks get lit up on the hill. The Jagdpanzer 4 which I will have no problem penetrating as long as he's up there in front of me at a reasonable angle and I can hit his lower plate or the sides of him. So if we finish him off, the A43 would be no problem as well, but I think he's just running away. And of course the OA Experimental is actually quite hard to miss, although if he's angled, it could have a problem penetrating. But we got him with 3 shots into him and he's gone behind the building as well, and there's not much of him showing. And looking at the mini-map, I don't particularly like the situation south of our base. There is one medium tank defending the ridgeline there after we had quite a lot of tanks down there when I left, so we say the centre of the map, and there's just one now in the artillery, and I don't like the look of that at all, because I'm sure if that light is not there on his own, that there are tanks behind him coming in to support him. Situation is even kind of on the map, but if they cap at this point and we're going to be tanks down, we're going to be coming up the hill, and well, most of the tanks down there at A8, A9, A0, B0, those areas, they're not going to get back in time. The medium probably might, the tank destroyer might. So I'm signalling that they should be thinking about coming back. At least somebody should be thinking about coming back, and I'm going to go up and see if I can at least catch some of these tanks coming in on the base. Now the base is completely open from this side, but pretty much anywhere I can shoot the base is also pretty open. So I'm going for the ridge line here so that at least I have an escape route. I have the choice of either going forward, looping under the bare ground there where it rises steeply and turning around and going away, or I have the opportunity of just backing back. But then I see somebody behind me. The enemy are actually going to defend their own base. There's a KV-1S. Missed, and he's fallen off the bridge. Rather unfortunately, he survived the experience and he's on precious few hit points. And then there's an M6. My first snapshot off hits a building between me and him, but that makes it easier to shoot the rest of them. And I can put rounds, well, I can put premium rounds definitely to the front of an M6, and he's tracked now, so he's going nowhere. Just need to get it in a bit lower, and that one hits. And the KV-1S is there, visible between the two houses. We put one to the back of the turret, and that's him out of the picture. And there's a KV-85 coming towards the base. Now the same consideration still applies. The artillery is still alive, which is kind of amazing, really, because he's surely been spotted. Alright, I'm surprised that he hasn't been spotted, although I think the tank coming up is a KV-85. Yep, there it is. It's a KV-85, which doesn't have a great view range. But he stops. Now, I don't know that he stopped because he saw my incoming round, but I think that hit the rock there in front of him, so I don't think he could have seen that. He must have seen the artillery, or else he's firing towards the artillery. But he's realised he can't just sit there and take the punishment that I'm giving out. And the artillery finishes him off, and then I was going to go and help my other tanks when I spot the remaining enemy tank destroyer coming on towards the base, and I thought, right, well, I better get him as well. I wasn't too sure what I was going to be facing, and come around here, just checking on the map, and it's the Hellcat. I presume this is the Hellcat that was down at the other end of the map earlier on. He's on precious few health points as well, and as soon as he was spotted, he decided to run away, but he didn't run away fast enough, and we managed to get him. So there's only the enemy artillery left. Now he's spotted, but he's spotted right in the vicinity of one of our tanks. Now I'm coming over the top here. I better be careful that I don't lose health coming off the height here, and because it's very easy to do. Come off it anywhere fast at all, and you could lose quite a lot of your health. And that artillery is actually still alive, which is fair going. I'm probably not going to make it, almost certainly not going to make it. The other two tanks are actually closer than I am to the artillery, and well, the ground is no worse for them than it is for me, so I can't actually get a line of sight on the action from up here. The artillery is momentarily unspotted, so he probably got the tank that was after him initially. He doesn't have a lot of health left, and one of the other tanks finishes him off. So that is it, game over. We are 1 kill up. Interestingly enough, we've only killed 15 enemy tanks. So that means at least 2 enemy tanks killed themselves. Anyway, 2,500 damage, high caliber, first class mastery, and a Top Gun. We only got 600 assisted, 655 assisted, but you don't get much assisted generally in tanks like the E25 because you're generally back in cover. You're not actually spotting. It doesn't have a great view range. But at least 2 of the enemy tanks must have killed themselves in some way by falling off of cliffs or bridges or something. Interestingly enough, while I have gotten by far and away the most damage in our team and twice as much damage as anybody else in the game, 3 tanks in our team did no damage at all. So that is interesting as well in the terms of the results. Now I did 9 damaged, of which I killed 6. Looking at the individual damage results, it looks like the 5916 and the A43 managed to destroy their own tanks. And they're both, well, one's a light, one's a medium. So they both managed to fall off cliffs or fall off bridges or something like that and destroy their own tanks. Nothing particularly remarkable about the performance otherwise. A lot of shots out, obviously, but that's the way I generally play these kind of tanks. And that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. It really helps the channel out. And if you have not already done so, please consider giving the channel a subscription. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you all again soon. Bye.